Somebody left a comment the other day when I was talking about, is cheating ever okay? I'm glad we can all come to the conclusion that cheating is bad, and that if you ever really decide that you want to cheat, just leave. End the relationship. It is something that is sometimes not as easy as said than done, but it is easier than going out there and destroying somebody psychologically from all the emotional damage. So it is something that I would say I would opt for that one if you're trying to retain any bit of humanity that you might already still have lost. The other day, somebody left a comment in my video when I was discussing, is cheating ever okay? I'm glad we came to the consensus that cheating is just bad, and that if you ever need to just cheat, then why don't you just leave or end the relationship? Sometimes I know it's easier said than done, but it is a lot nicer to do than the altar. You know what I'm saying? Just cheating and destroying somebody psychologically is not the best thing to do. I don't think it's the best way to get yourself into heaven if you're religious, and I don't think it's the best way to rest peacefully under the ground if you're not. I'm just saying maybe you should think about the other person whenever you're in a relationship, or that's why you get labeled a narcissist. And it's an overblown term, but in some cases I can see why some people get labeled with that. But in that whole video, they left a comment saying, hey, why don't you make a video about how men actually get emotionally attached from women after having relations with them? And I was like, oh, that's easy. I mean, that's just called being pussy whipped, or being strung out on the catnip. It just depends on which way you really want to look at it. But it does happen to guys as well. Like, we try to act like we can just have these transactionless, transactionless, sexcapades with like these, street workers or just these women on the side pieces, and act like you're not going to get emotionally attached. It's why people end up unfortunately ending their current relationship, maybe permanently for some of them, where they end up burying these people in oil drums, or they end up decapitating the bodies, or just, chopping them up, doing all sorts of terrible things to just hide the evidence of their past. And then they try to move on with their mistress, and they just try to disappear in a foreign country somewhere. That happens all the time, because guess what? They got strung out on the goods that they were getting on the side. That wouldn't have happened if it wasn't any good. Like, if they were going out on the side and just slaying the side piece, and they were just like, man, this is mid, they wouldn't have been that strung out to where they would have considered actually deleting the other person. I mean, dude, that is a lot to go through. I mean, that must be some good catnip. I'm just saying, that's some good fish. I mean, if that's the way you want to at least go about it. I mean, I'm just saying, I've never had anything that made me get that crazy where I was actually going to off somebody. But I'm just saying, I understand where it might want you get somebody to put hands on folks, because you got to think, especially in your younger years, more than likely, maybe people are still crashing out like this in their 30s and 40s, maybe plus beyond. But if somebody, say you had a crush on this individual, especially like I said, when you're younger, and then you find out like one of your friends end up clapping before you did, you end up wanting to just like hurt them. Or if you had really good relations with this person and they ended up being your ex, and then one of your friends or somebody that you know end up smashing. If it's one of your friends, you might be a little bit more forgiving, but if it's just somebody you're acquainted with, no, you want to go ahead and bury them underneath the university. That happens. And I'm just saying, because people do act like, for whatever reason, especially these alpha males, that men just for whatever reason just can't get addicted to that stuff, which they all know that's not true, because half of them have a porn addiction. And it's like, come on now, do you not see what you're saying here? You're all turning into Stevie Night Night. I mean, really, you're going to be a night rider before it's all said and done. And Red Caramel got 33. I finally remember saying it in the video, but I'm just saying, it's possible that it happens. There are guys who for whatever reason deny that this can happen to them, but their behavior changes. They end up being those dudes who end up dressing the way their woman wants them to dress. They're the people who get the whole black girlfriend effect, or the black boyfriend effect, or the white girlfriend effect, and yada yada. You know what I'm saying? Either way, their aesthetic changes. They go from wearing the long baggy jean shorts or sagging their pants and wearing Croakies. You know what I'm saying? Like actually having Croakies on their sunglasses and wearing Oakleys. Weird transitions, but I've seen it happen. I've seen brothers go from full brother to full frat bro. And I mean, it is quite the conversion, but it does happen to individuals. Sometimes it happens when obviously they dip into the vanilla and they're like, ooh, I really like this ice cream. This is some good stuff. And then they just, for whatever reason, forget about chocolate altogether. Like, damn, chocolate is also a good flavor. Don't forget about it now. There's some other ones out there as well. I'm just saying, there's a lot of different ice creams to dabble in, and they're all good. Now, sometimes they can all be a little spoiled. It just depends on the brand that you're effing with, if you understand what I'm getting at here. But if you're a guy watching this video, I mean, look, it's okay to admit if you've ever been strung out on the poo nanny. It happens to all of us. I'm just saying, there's a reason why in South Park, the first time Stan saw titties, that he just lost his mind. It happens to all of us. The first time we see a nice set on somebody, it's just like you get hypnotized. It's okay. Perfectly natural. You just don't want to get up to the point where you're that crazy person, or you end up being one of the nice guys who is actually psychologically insane, where you end up playing the American Psycho role in real life, trying to play a normal person, but deep down you have these crushes and these fetishes over these women that you got like plastered up on your walls. You got posters and murals like built of them, like Helga from, Arnold. I mean, Hey Arnold. I'm just saying, you remember what she had in her closet. I'm just saying, there's some guys who have some weirder things going on, like quagmires. You know what I'm saying? There are some people out there that have some odd stuff going on. But I also thought that was just an interesting topic for me to talk about when they left it in the comments. I didn't have a whole lot on it. I just want to know, like, how many of y'all have experienced this? How many of you have been strung out on it? I mean, look, we all understand that people think that women can get demonetized, and, our egos get to the point as guys sometimes where we're like, I'm going to deliver that D, and she is going to be strung out on me forever, when sometimes they're just in a relationship and you're not really giving it to them like you think you are. I mean, you're getting it on a consistent basis. Like, yeah, you are winning nightly, like you're getting yours, but they're not happy. They're not satisfied. And sometimes when you don't have self-awareness and you end up people like Stevie Knight, you don't realize that woman's walking around like upset in the morning for a reason. Sometimes they like push away from you in bed when it's all said and done. A little bit more distant. Don't laugh at your jokes as much. I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that people start missing, and there's a lot of details that just right out the window that they just don't see. Next thing you know, the girl's packing her bags or she's getting her cheeks clapped in a bed and you're ready to get the shotgun out. There's a lot of things that can happen. Just depends on how you want to look at it. But me, I'm just rambling and I'm just talking crazy at this point in time. But I just want to know if you have ever had this happen to you, or if you're a woman, have you ever been demonetized? I know you don't need to get into detail down there in the comments. You could just simply say, yes, it has happened. I don't need stories. If you got stories, cool. But if you got them, let's try to keep them, YouTube friendly. Jesus Christ, some people be throwing some stuff out there. And it's like, we didn't need that much detail. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. Okay, I'm glad I didn't let this video completely end before I wanted to bring this up. Now, I always got to bring up something that'll make you laugh at least a little bit, or just put in a hypothetical situation that makes you think just a tad bit. And I was also thinking, these people have these conversations with their spouse or their significant other when it's like, it's over, right? I mean, and it comes to physical deterioration. Now I'm very glad that I didn't end this video, because I wanted to bring up this point here, and just going back to the whole, is cheating okay? I'm glad that we all established once again that cheating is bad and that you should just break up with this individual. Now, when it comes to the breaking up with the individual, that's the part we haven't discussed. How does this conversation take place? When do you address it, and how do you do it? Are you going to be one of those people that really sets it up nice, where you waste a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of time just to like pretty much get this person all excited and amped up for something great, and then you tear them down by saying this relationship is over? I never quite understood why people do that. Why am I going to take somebody out to an expensive dinner, get all this like wine and rose petals and chocolates and shit just to break off the relationship? Like, that's not going to be a smooth landing. Like, that is horrible. I mean, that is psychologically just absolutely destructive. I mean, I don't know how you can think of it any other way. That's crazy to think. Like, why would you spend, say, hundreds of dollars just to be like, I'm sorry, but when I look at you, I am no longer attracted to you. When I see you, I no longer get hard when I see you naked. I mean, that is a very difficult thing to break to somebody. I don't know if you break that in like casually, or you just had to just flat out, hey, listen, you just walk in the room one day and you're like, I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. I don't find you attractive anymore. And this is all based on like, if it was to physically fall off, and it happens. Sometimes you look around and you're like, ooh, one partner is definitely, aging better than the other, or the other one is starting to slip, and I'm not sure if the other one has issues with that or not, because it happens both ways. Now, I know a lot of people were probably thinking like, oh my God, you're talking about when the woman gets pregnant and she gets big and then all of a sudden the man leaves. That definitely happens. And it's like, dude, that is kind of dirty. Maybe give her some time to get back into shape. Now, if she never ever wants to get back into shape, and if that's important to you, maybe you should lay that expectation down earlier. But that's also feels kind of mean, and it feels like kind of controlling. But it is something. You can't just think that your man is no longer going to want to be attractive to you. But we do understand, at least we should understand, that physical changes are going to take place after a woman is pregnant. That is just inevitable. Sometimes they can bounce back just like that, and they can snatch back faster than you can ever blink. And they look great, and they come back put together. Then with some single mothers, not like relationship, well, it doesn't matter. Either way, happens. They can be stitched back. I'm just saying it can be fixed, you guys. Not saying that's going to be your solution to fix your pain, but it is an option for some of you who want to, have a woman who might be more accommodating. I'm just saying, sometimes for you guys, single mothers might be the route. Maybe not the people who watch this channel, but definitely the individuals who are always complaining about single mothers, they might want to consider them. I'm telling you, the people that be down in the comment section of like the fresh and fit videos. Now, I don't wish this amongst these single mothers because they're not all bad people, or most of them are good. They just unfortunately ended up with somebody who dipped, and that is just what it is. But you got to think, like, sometimes, like, you might want to consider that an option. I hate when guys just be ruling it out. Now, I understand if they got like 3, 4, 5 kids, I'd be, woo, I'm gonna look at you like, I don't know, man. Like, you got 0? What's up with that? I mean, maybe you don't have ambitions of having any, but why are you just gonna be just willingly taking care of these? And when it comes to people like Russell Wilson, he's like, dude, I got money. Little Future, you can be my son. It's all good. Now he's calling him daddy. And now he's just pretty much dick slapping Future all over the place saying, hey, your boy is my son and you are nothing and you are irrelevant. So go ahead and smile with all the chains and the grills and all that like overpriced Gucci and Versace and all that garbage that you've been wearing. Guess what? Get on my level and make as much money as me. Now, Russ is way too humble to say such things, but I also think in his one situation, that's definitely a flex. But most of these dudes who be out here desperate, angry, upset, not getting any cheeks, refuse to date any single mothers. And I'm like, you might want to consider that, because some of them be like, hey, they haven't had anything in a while and they be thirsty. Just saying. I mean, and it's understandable, you know, because sometimes you get a bad rap. I mean, hey, single mothers are now demonized in society, so it's hard pressed for them sometimes to get some quality loving, and you know, it might have to come from some bad places. But once again, really, how do you have that conversation? I feel like it's an ugly thing to have. I mean, to sit there and have to break it to your spouse, like I mean, and it happens too. Like the woman somehow is like working hard, she's still running every morning, out there drinking water, being extremely healthy, eating fruits, and you got the guy out there drinking beer, eating only meat, no veggies, sitting around, not being active, not doing anything good besides scrolling on Twitter and doom scrolling on Instagram. I mean, it's not good things, not good habits. Then he starts to pick up all these bad, crazy, misogynistic views, and he's obese. And he used to be in shape. And then he's still expecting you to be out there serving him sandwiches and making him meals, making you still be loyal to him, even though he's not working hard at this relationship at all. Stinks most of the time. You don't want to go do some extra things because he's raw and raunchy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty bad. Like, he needs to clean up, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't want to deal with that. I understand where women can get to that point and then they're like, this relationship needs to end. How do y'all have that conversation? Because I know there's a lot of women that view at least these videos when I talk about these stupid things, but what do y'all do in these situations? And if you've been in one, I'd like to know this story, because this sounds really funny to me. Because like, if you had to be like, look, bruh, I'm sorry, you ain't it no more, I just want to know how you broke it to him, because I'm curious about these things. Well, anyway, I can finally just go ahead and let this video end.